Betrayal, lies, and a teaching revenge. My wife's affair exploded in court. The world tilted on its axis the day I found the truth. 31 years of marriage. A life built together. Shattered into a million pieces. All because of a cancelled staff meeting. What I witnessed that day, and what followed, still haunts me. But I had to act. This is a story of how I uncovered my wife's shocking affair, and the explosive fallout that landed us both in court. I worked as a primary school teacher, with a predictable schedule. Tuesday afternoons were sacred staff meetings. I'd usually be home by 7, ready to make dinner while Terry, my wife, showered after the gym. Our marriage, however, had been rocky for a while. She'd become distant, demanding, and always seemed to want control. Despite this, I considered myself patient. Then came that Tuesday. Our principal, bless his heart, canceled the staff meeting unexpectedly. It was only 3:30. I decided to surprise Terry by heading home early and tackling some chores. Before she got back from the gym, I pulled into our garage, detached from the house, and started the walk up to our 2-story home. I saw Terry's car. No alarm bells yet. She often took the bus to the gym. As I entered the back door, I intended to tidy out the space. But the first thing that stopped me cold was Terry's handbag sitting on the kitchen counter. Terry never left her purse anywhere. My focus shifted. A pair of shoes lay on the floor near the kitchen counter. Then, I heard sounds coming from our bedroom upstairs. Dread washed over me. I climbed the stairs slowly, my heart pounding in my chest. Those shoes weren't mine. Neither were the pants, shirt, tank, and socks scattered along the stairs, mixed in with Terry's lingerie, special occasion lingerie. I froze, my skin clammy, my blood pressure plummeting. I sat down, trying to gather myself. Usually calm and collected, I was now flooded with unfamiliar emotions. Curiosity, or perhaps a morbid need for confirmation, propelled me cautiously up the stairs and towards our shared closet. I edged toward the door leading to the bedroom, slightly ajar just enough to see the bed and its occupants. It was like watching a scene from a nightmare. All the while, moans and grunts filled the air. In disbelief, I grabbed my phone and started recording. I needed proof. Something to convince myself this wasn't a terrible dream. This was my wife, my partner, the mother of our children, engaged in the most base act of betrayal. I couldn't watch anymore. I stopped recording and quietly descended the stairs, leaving our property and walking aimlessly until I found myself in a park miles away from home. I sat down, splashed some water on my face, and forced myself to watch the recording on my phone. The volume muted. It was the destruction of my life. Everything I considered normal, right there on my screen, captured in digital clarity. The wreckage of our marriage. That was when I finally broke down and cried. Later, mirroring my usual arrival after staff meetings, I found myself back at home, standing at the back door, my disheveled appearance attracting Terry's attention. "Honey, what's wrong? You look really pale. Is everything all right? I'll get you a drink. Are you okay?" I couldn't tell her the truth. "Not yet." In a shaky voice, I replied, "Not really." Something upset my stomach. I was thinking of taking a shower and heading to bed. Terry responded, "If you puke, make sure it's not on the nice clean." I cut her off, a bit more firmly. "It's okay. I'll sleep in the spare room until I feel better." And that's how things went for the next few days. Terry continued her routine, seemingly oblivious to my internal turmoil. I was on autopilot at work, sleeping in the spare bedroom, feigning illness. But I knew I couldn't keep up the charade for long. Eventually, I moved back into our bedroom. Terry acted as if nothing had changed. When Monday arrived, I'd made a decision. I needed to know if this was an isolated incident or an ongoing affair. I told my principal I needed an unexpected medical procedure the following day, and he arranged a substitute teacher. Tuesday morning, I took a circuitous route through neighboring yards, keeping out of sight, ending up at our garage at the back of the house. The waiting game began. There wasn't an extra car last Tuesday, so I couldn't rely on that as a warning. They must have walked, hiding in the hedges. I watched our house, Kitchen duties. Operating the dishwasher, followed by vacuuming and dusting in the living room, continued until approximately 11:30. The sound of the shower, followed by silence and then the flushing of the toilet. She left the front door ajar. A blatant invitation. I didn't have to wait long. Around 12:30. He arrived. I didn't know who he was. My phone recorded about 10 seconds of video. He didn't hesitate. "Hey lover. I hope you're dressed for a big workout again." Terry's response was casual and sickening, of course. "You always loved it when I wore these. I sometimes wonder if it was these that attracted you to me in the first place. Or maybe it was these." I had seen enough. Confirming the ongoing affair. As they moved to the bedroom, I retreated to the garage, trying to compose myself. My heart pounding. Who was this man? Did he care about the destruction he was causing? I doubted it. There were no signs of protection being used, raising concerns about risk. Why had she never discussed her feelings with me? I decided to begin my investigation by printing out profile pictures from my phone footage to identify the interloper. The following Thursday, Terry had her regular gym session. Especially since I had a break from school due to midterm, Terry wasn't too keen on the idea of me going. Giving flimsy excuses, I persisted, accompanying her to the gym. As I walked in, it felt like an old Western film. Everyone turned to stare. Terry brushed it off, explaining they weren't used to seeing her with someone during her gym time. The workout started, and I tried to keep up. After 45 minutes, I had to take a break, my blood sugar dropping. I sat on a nearby chair and began to observe Terry in the gym. There was a cork board with photos and bios of the instructors. I glanced at the top photo, a woman who seemed to be in great shape. Underneath were 3 more photos, 2 women and 1 man. And then I froze. This man was the one involved with my wife. Mr. Philippi, head of exercise regime planning and personal body training. I memorized his phone number. I noticed Terry was no longer at the station I had last seen her. I searched for my wife. After some searching, I spotted her near the entrance to the staff area, talking animatedly with Philippi. He appeared to be near the entrance to the staff area and had clearly been prevented from entering, presumably by another staff member. She gestured for him to leave and hurried back to the station. When Terry returned to my location, it was evident I wasn't feeling well. "Are you okay? Did it take a while for your blood sugar to recover?" "Yeah. I'm fine now. Are you ready to go?" Before she could respond, an announcement came over the loudspeaker. "Mr. Bond has unexpectedly fallen ill and had to leave." My ears perked up at his name and title. I thought to myself, this requires investigation. Terry quickly said, "That's such a shame that Phil couldn't finish the session as usual tonight." She said goodbye and headed for the car, clearly signaling to the other lady that she didn't want to discuss it at that moment. Terry got into the car faster than I had ever seen her do before. The ride home was quiet. I couldn't help but notice these changes in her behavior. I tried to act casually so I could learn more about what was going on. "So that was quite an interesting session. No wonder you're looking so fit and trim." "Thanks, honey," she replied. "They offer an extensive program. The ladies are friendly too. It's just a shame about Mr. Bond. A bit too quickly. Philip Bond. He usually wraps up every session with an exercise routine that really challenges everyone, pushing their bodies to the limit. It was disappointing that he wasn't there tonight." Inside, I couldn't help but think, she's fully committed to this lie. But all I said was, maybe next Thursday he'll be feeling better. I couldn't shake the thought of the upcoming intimate encounter between my wife and Mr. Bond next Thursday. It was time to get down to business. During the next school dismissal, a chaotic scene of parents picking up their kids by car. A car pulled up. "Hi," she greeted. "I'm sorry, but I'm new to this whole pickup thing, and I completely lost track of time. Is my son Timothy here?" I assured her I would find Timothy. I located him chatting with another staff member's child. "Hey Tim," I said. "Your mom's here to pick you up. Come with me to the pickup area." He seemed puzzled. Mom is usually occupied with her gym instructor on Friday afternoon. At my previous school, she sometimes didn't arrive until around 5:30. The moment I heard gym instructor, my suspicions grew stronger. I continued the conversation. It's good to see your mom taking care of her health. Exercise is a crucial part of a healthy lifestyle. Do you happen to know the instructor's name? Oh, his name is Bond. Or something like that, replied Timothy. He also works at a local gym and often gives private lessons at people's homes. That's what I want to do when I grow up. Mom really enjoys her workouts with him. On Friday evenings. She's so relaxed and looks radiant by the time we get home. It's fantastic. No way. I walked Timothy back to his car, where his mom expressed her gratitude. No problem, I said. It's all part of the service. By the way, I don't believe we've met before. I'm Gerard. I shook her hand, and she introduced herself. Hi, I'm Mary Jones. I remember seeing you at the gym last Thursday. I was there with my wife. At that moment, her entire demeanor changed dramatically. She suddenly turned pale and guarded. All right, I'll see you again, Mr. Downs. Goodbye, and quickly drove off. What I believed I had already outlined together with my then partner. This future appeared grim. This anger led me down a path I had never imagined, reversing the path of Ari. I began to meticulously review all the vital yet often overlooked details that are a part of a couple's everyday life. My database of this information began to expand. I discovered that we had only a small amount left to pay on our mortgage. After conducting thorough online research without Terry's knowledge, I came to the fact that we would need to evenly divide all our assets. We did have a substantial sum saved in a cash account, around $30.00, designated for a planned overseas trip. Unfortunately, that trip was no longer on the horizon. My initial step would be to deplete that account as swiftly as possible before Terry became aware that I had uncovered her betrayal. I discreetly made several household appliances suddenly malfunction. I would disconnect a wire here and there when Terry wasn't at home, then charging a certain amount in cash, which was slightly less than a stated price. Through this method, I also purchased tools and such, always paying with cash. I admit it was deceptive, but the values of honesty and trustworthiness had already eroded in our relationship due to Terry's actions. The whole situation was turning me into someone I never thought I could be, a liar. Our relationship became a mere facade. We simply coexisted as to housemates. Gradually, my personal belongings began to disappear into boxes in the garage. Terry rarely ventured into the garage, so she didn't notice the rearrangement. She did question the absence of some of my personal items from the shelves once. I kept postponing it, explaining that I accidentally broke things I no longer know how to use for. When most of my items were cleared away in this manner, it made me realize how much I had yielded to Terry's influence in many aspects of our life together. I withdrew as much of my superannuation as I could, and purchased a small house on the town's outskirts. It was exceptionally compact, conveniently located near my workplace. What made it even better was that the remaining mortgage balance allowed me to comfortably manage the monthly payments. This wasn't a grand mansion by any means. It's astounding how great a deal you can find if you're willing to forego the allure of flash. My separation plans were underway. I gradually moved my personal belongings into the new house. Furniture wasn't a problem. Thrift stores became my best friend. It felt like my life was playing out in reverse, relying on charity for any value. It was time for those involved to receive their just rewards. I reconnected with Mary Jones when she approached me during a school pickup, while I was alone with her son Timothy, waiting for her. Mr. Downs, as a teacher, can I talk to you for a minute? Of course, I said. I'm not sure how to begin what I need to tell you. I'm uncertain about how much you know regarding the gym you saw me at. Stay fit and active. She hesitated, and then continued. There are things you should know about what happens there. Trying to get to the point swiftly, I asked, is it related to Philip Bont? You have no idea how much it involves that pig. I said I might have an idea, when I asked how she knew. I had tears in her eyes. Until last week we met every Friday at 12:30. She apologized. I couldn't have been more wrong. I was completely shocked by her candor. How could she think it was appropriate to share all of this with me? She must be really upset, trying to provide some comfort. One say, marriage relationships aren't always what they seem. She looked at my face and noticed the pain and anguish in my expression. You already know, don't you? You already know that he's been involved with Terry. Your wife. I admitted yes. Thank you for sharing this. Do I struggle to conceal the bitterness in my voice? But I've already set things in motion regarding the whole situation. I genuinely believe in karma. That guy has to face the consequences. He doesn't care about who he hurts or how, as long as he satisfies his sexual ego. If you want my help to get back at him, just let me know. That guy has to pay. I sat there deep in thought for quite some time. I found a measure of relief when Mary shared her story with me. For a while, stemming from my inability to salvage my wife, I realized it required deeper consideration. I recall the phone number posted on the gym's wall using the telecom's white pages, not more than 3 blocks away from our own. I told Terry that I'd be going for a walk each day around 5 o'clock p.m., claiming my specialist recommended. Fortunately, Terry had no interest in joining me during my first evening walk and observed that he lived in a ground floor apartment. Among several similar units, he consistently left our house well before 6 o'clock. This occurred every day I could go for a walk except for my staff meeting day when I couldn't walk. I decided to take a whole week off from school for the specific purpose. I went to an electronics store and purchased the necessary equipment. This included a disc long-range listening device, not the one that resembles a satellite. I also bought voice and motion-activated cameras, with full-color HD capabilities, 5 of them to be precise. To ensure I had enough storage space for digital evidence, I acquired an extra portable hard drive for my computer. After purchasing these items on Monday, I proceeded to install one of the cameras in Bonte's apartment. Fortunately, his place wasn't overly spacious, more like a one-bedroom apartment. With a generous living and kitchen dining area, one camera sufficed to cover everything except his. I simply waited for him to head to the gym and retrieved his apartment keys from where he carelessly left them under the. Couldn't have been less imaginative. Now, whenever he made a movement or a sound in his apartment, the camera equipped with a microphone. On Tuesday, which is often overlooked during the pre-closing checks in most stores. Fortunately, luck was on my side. I strategically placed the next camera in the private room located at the back. This was the same room where Bon often conducted sessions with his private clients. By Wednesday, the 3rd and 4th cameras in our bedroom and living area. Upon reviewing the footage from Tuesday, I was both surprised and unsurprised by what I observed and heard. Given the context, Bon woke up and promptly left. I couldn't help but think, play lazy guy can't even make his own breakfast. He remained home until the gym opened and left at 10:30. During this time, he made an intriguing phone call to Julie. "Hi, it's Phil. Is he gone yet?" Pause. "Okay. See you at 12:30 at your place. Make sure to wear what I mentioned. Number. I'll be careful. No one will see me enter. Did you say he was going for 3 days? All right, maybe I can come on Thursday. And Friday as well. We'll talk this afternoon, lover." After that, I couldn't help but wonder how he planned to explain this to Terry. On Thursday, I set up shop in the garage with my computer, eagerly awaiting the unfolding event. He had woken up, going out for breakfast again, and returned to make a phone call to said Julie. "Hey. How's my favorite slut feeling today, Phil? Don't talk like that on the phone. You never know who could be listening. Luckily, my husband is going to work. See you at 12:30 as usual. Mary, the parent from school." So I asked her to compile a list of women that scoundrel was involved with or had been involved with in the past. To my shock and dismay, Terry's name was on that list. By this point, I nearly severed all ties to our house, as it didn't affect your possessions and even provided her more space. I'd also moved the garage items to my new house. To complete my departure, I carefully kept all the receipts for the fictitious purchases neatly organized in a folder, just in case they were needed as evidence. I adjusted the beneficiaries of my superannuation fund to our children, and withdrew any available funds. I established separate bank accounts. Credit card Carrie's car, its registration, making her entirely responsible for it from now on. Unfortunately, each package included details about when and where that scoundrel had been involved. With their part additionally I provided the address of the sexual health clinic in our town, suggesting that it was an appropriate time to have a serious discussion with her head instructor. On our kitchen table, surveillance of that scoundrel and Terry and DVDs of their encounters. I placed my wedding ring cut in half and covered in unpleasant substance, the accompanying note. There's no confusion about why this breakup occurred. I've sent copies of the DVDs to them, so there can be no false narratives about who initiated the separation. I drove to my new house and waited for the fallout, which came with full force. Somehow, the local newspapers caught wind of a scandal at a nearby gym. Terry returned home on that fateful day. Discovered my parting. Sherry made attempts to contact me but was unsuccessful on any of our phones. She even attempted to visit the school after spending a night in the holding cell and receiving a stern warning from a magistrate. Blatant infidelity. Fortunately, they were both married and had inherited more ethical views on fidelity for me. The divorce proceedings were completed. Terry had to sell the house. The stigma of being known as one of the infamous gem slots never left. As for me, I continued with my teaching profession. So, Reddit, after hearing everything, tell me, did I handle the situation the right way? Was I justified in my actions? Or should I have taken a different approach? I'm truly interested in hearing your honest opinions and insights, as I still grapple with the aftermath of everything that happened.